Good evening, parents and guardians. Tonight we're here at Soehl Middle School for the fourth and final Technology One-to-One Parent Information Session. Tonight, parents are going to receive all of the information that they need to know about our real exciting initiative that every student from grades 3 through 12 in Linden Public Schools will receive a MacBook Air laptop. So please sit back, enjoy the show, and you'll learn a lot. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you. Parents, guardians, students, my name is Danny Robertosi. I'm the superintendent of schools here in Linden, and it is my honor and privilege to be your superintendent. And I'm so excited to be here tonight to discuss with you what we believe is going to revolutionize teaching in the city of Linden. Teaching and learning. We are launching a full technology one-to-one initiative in the Linden School District from grades 3 through 12. We are currently in the second phase. In 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, every student has a MacBook Air laptop in their classroom that is assigned to them. They do not take it home. Our second phase is going to be launched tonight. And then in January, when your middle school children will receive their very own MacBook Air laptop that they will take home. Now I want to be very clear. This is not just about replacing pencil and paper with a computer. We have a vision for the success of this initiative. Our vision is that we're going to improve student achievement by integrating 21st century skills into our classrooms to make instruction more engaging, meaningful, and relevant to the lives of our students. And what I mean by that is, as a student growing up in Linden, graduate of Linden High School, I was the student in algebra class who was wondering why I have to learn this. And sitting in some other classes thinking, when will I ever use this in my life? And we believe that an opportunity to use first-rate technology will open up so many opportunities for our students to see how they can apply algebra, history, geometry to their real life and to their careers. We truly believe that we're going to prepare our kids who grow up in Linden, with the skills that when they graduate high school, they can get a job or go on to college and be successful. When you go to teacher school, they teach you about a guy named John Dewey. John Dewey, maybe parents, you might have heard of the Dewey Decimal System when you went to school and how they organized the library books. Well, John Dewey was the father of modern education. And on my MacBook Air, I keep a quote from John Dewey that says, "The world is moving at a tremendous rate. No one knows where. We must prepare our children not for the world of the past, not for our world, but for their world, the world of the future." And he said that in 1940. In 2013, the world is changing so rapidly that careers that existed 10 years ago don't even exist anymore. And we don't even know yet what the next big thing is going to be. But we believe we're going to prepare our students for it. So tonight we have a program that's going to take about 35 minutes. I know you have lots of questions. You may have some concerns. I want you to please listen to the presentation very carefully. I assure you that when you leave here tonight, we will answer all your questions in the presentation, and at the end, if you still have questions, we will have a question and answer session and answer any questions you might have. I would be remiss if I didn't thank a few people before we begin tonight. This is a huge initiative. We are going to be handing out over 3,000 computers. That could not be done. This vision that we have could not become reality without the Linden Board of Education. And as a leader of any large organization, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. Not with me tonight, who was one of the architects of this vision, is our business administrator, Ms. Catherine Gaylord, who found a way to finance this project. And with us tonight, leading our presentation, my right hand and my left hand, my assistant superintendent, Mrs. Denise Cleary. And the Director of Technology in the Linden School District, Mr. Michael Walters. So without any further ado, I'd like to ask Mike to come up and continue the presentation. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Robertosi. Hi, everybody. Very excited to be here tonight. This is a great event. This is the final of our 4 parent-guardian meetings here to kind of kick off this Technology One-to-One initiative. When I first got this position as technology director, I knew someday we were going to be one-to-one. I didn't know it was going to be iPads or tablets or just computers or laptops, but I always knew it was going to be sometime in the distant future. But then the fact that this is happening so quickly is just awesome. I mean, you're going to be one-to-one with a brand new MacBook Air. And I just couldn't be more thrilled and so excited that it's happening now, instead of, this has always been something that 5, 10 years from now. We're one of the first schools in the whole state to come up with something like this. I'm going to talk to you a little bit tonight about kind of how we came up with this, where we are now, and where we're going to be in the very near future. So without further ado, one-to-one technology is a great thing. I mean, you have the ability to have every student and teacher on this level playing field. Every computer we have is identical. Everyone has the same apps and software, and every student is going to be learning with the same exact tools. We put a lot of thought and effort into this, and one of the main things that we did to prepare for this was to prepare our network. We needed to have a solid infrastructure of wireless connectivity throughout the entire district. This next 30 seconds or so will be for your techies out there, but we own our own dark fiber network, meaning we own the cables on the poles. It's ours. We don't share it with Verizon or AT&T, so we control the flow, the bandwidth, anything we need, we own that on the poles. We have 2 gigs to every building and 20 gigs here at Soehl Middle School, McManus, and the high school. That's plenty of bandwidth for anything that we need to do. It's very, very fast internet and connectivity to all devices. We redid our entire network infrastructure, ground up with new Cisco equipment. Cisco, for those of you who know, that's top of the line network equipment. Through and through, we have Cisco equipment. And there are hundreds of wireless access points all over the district, in every single building. At Soehl Middle School alone, we have, I think, 75 in this building, covering every square inch of every school in the district. Those of you that are lucky enough to live within a couple blocks of the school know that you pick up our network. I see you on there in the middle of the night sometimes, and that's fine. That you can connect. That's a very strong signal, and we have great coverage with our wireless. So that's the first main step. The second main step is our sustainability. The last thing we wanted to do was come up with a couple thousand computers, hand them all out to everyone, and in 3, 4, 5 years, now everyone has a 5-year-old computer, and what are we going to do now? So we came up with a 3-year cycle, and we're going to lease these machines 3 years at a time. So if you're a 6th grader, you will have that machine for 3 years, and then you'll give that back, and you'll get a new one in 9th grade. Dr. Robertosi alluded to grades 3 through 5 already have their own computers in their classrooms. They don't take them home with them. The middle school, grade 6 to the 1st grade will truly be one-to-one. But that nice 3-year cycle. So new computer 6th grade, you keep until 8th grade. New computer in 9th grade, you keep through 11th grade. And in 12th grade, you will have the ability to purchase that laptop for, right now, Apple's telling us in the neighborhood of $150, a 3-year off-lease machine to use, to have. It's yours as a senior and beyond. So going into college, your student is going to have a off-lease Mac Airbook with all of their high school work on it, all their projects and papers and homework and anything they've ever done stored on this nice machine to take with them to college, to refer back to use in college for a nominal fee. So it's I think a nice little bonus there at the end. If you take good care of the machine, the ability to purchase it for a year and beyond is a nice thing. The other thing that this 3-year cycle allows us to do is every 3 years we can change our mind if we want. Let's say, you see this new Google Glass, right? These glasses that come on, and maybe that's what we're going to be all wearing in 3 years, 6 years, who knows? But with the 3-year lease, we have the ability to move to that next device, whatever that may be. 5 years ago, we didn't hear of tablets, and here they are, everywhere. Tablet, phone, or whatever that next device is. This was very appealing to me. I wanted to stay current. I don't want to have our equipment get old. I want to stay right at that cutting edge. So if there's a brand new device that somebody hasn't invented yet, comes out in 3 years, we have the ability to stock up on that device and move forward. The last thing, and in my mind the most important thing that's going to make this work here in Linden, is the way we've developed our professional development, the way we're training our teachers, and the way we're coming up with ways to implement into lessons and curriculums. This is a little bit different than Apple tells us what anyone's doing, the way we've done this. Our professional development is going to be ongoing throughout the year. It's not just a one-time shot, hey teachers, here's your laptops, have a nice day, good luck. It's going on all the time. It's job embedded, it's training and coaching throughout the year. It's clear, it's focused, it's adaptable, and we always have student achievement at the core. So how are we doing this? We decided we're going to create what's called the technology vanguard of teachers. We handpicked 42 of the top teachers here in the district. These are teachers that already teach in technology. These are the teachers that engage your students every minute of every day, at all levels, elementary, middle, and high school. Every elementary school is represented by 2 Vanguard teachers. Here in the middle school, there's at least 3, and at the high school, there's 4. We represent special ed, every department. We handpicked with the principals and handpicked these great teachers to lead the way. So what do they get as Vanguard? Well, they're going to be responsible for formulating our vision. Dr. Robertosi alluded to it. They came up with that themselves, the teachers. They are responsible, or they're going to have access to our Vanguard technicians. As a tech director, I have access, there's a number of techs that work for me that fix the computers around district. There's 2 techs strictly devoted to the Vanguard, so they never have an issue with any of their machines. They're always up and running. They're the first one-to-one teachers in the district. We'll talk about the rollout a little bit later, but your students are getting their computers now. But your Vanguard and your teachers have already had these computers for the better part of 6 months. They're the ones that are going to implement this initiative into the curriculum and daily lessons. We've been working on that throughout. When we started in the summer, we've been working on implementing this into their lessons and curriculums. One thing you're going to hear a theme here is this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. They're not going to come in on the Monday after the Saturday, get their machines, and all of a sudden everything's going to be online, and all their textbooks are going to go in the garbage. This is not going to work like that. We're going to ease this in. It's going to be a little bit at a time. Marathon, not a sprint. Apple training that they're getting is tip-top. I mean, this isn't just some guy teaching the training. It's the Apple people coming from Apple, giving them top-of-the-line instruction. So it's the best of the best. And they're going to eventually lead the student vanguard. One idea that, I forget, one of the teachers had was, we're going to give these kids a computer, they're going to know more than us the second they get them. And I smiled to myself, yeah, that's pretty much true. I mean, I have a 2-year-old niece who, she's pretty smart. She has a favorite app. She knows how to get to it, and she's on it. They call them digital natives. They're like born with this. These kids know more than me. I know they do. And some of them are smiling at me because they know it. We're going to use that knowledge. We're going to get them together. We're going to create a student vanguard, and we're going to have some after-school clubs where the students are able to teach students. They can teach teachers. We have a parent night scheduled where the students are going to teach your parents how to use the MacBook Air. So we have some cool initiatives in the works that are going to be student-led. And we're kind of excited about that too. The teacher vanguard are going to be the ones who are going to be leading that in a way. Actually, I glance up and see Mr. Alvarez, who's one of our vanguards here. The teachers in the lobby are all vanguard. If you have any questions on the way out, they're more than happy to answer your questions. But Mr. Alvarez is going to lead our high school vanguard. You'll see I'll go over the rollout. But the high school students aren't getting their computers until the fall. But before that, we're going to have some hand-picked students, and they're going to kind of be the student vanguard at the high school. And they're going to be coming down to the middle schools a few days a week to kind of after-school club kind of thing for, again, to learn different apps and techniques and Mac basics, things like that. So our technology vanguard is a little bit different than everyone else, and what I think the third biggest piece is going to make us successful. So let's talk about this MacBook Air a little bit. This thing is top of the line. This isn't some like Chromebook or you know, I see the students in the know, they know what I'm talking about. This is a MacBook Air. 11-inch, this is the best of the best. Some of the reasons why we picked this, and believe me, we've done our research, we've spent many, many hours coming up with the decision to come up with the MacBook Air. One thing was very important, we wanted it to last the school day. Last thing I want to see is walk in the classroom and see people plugged in all over the place. These MacBook Airs last 9 hours of heavy use. That covers our school day, so we're good to go there. The second thing, we wanted to have an ebook reader. We want the ability, again, not right away, but over time, to get rid of the textbooks. You know, everything should be right there on this laptop. It can handle it. We can implement all kinds of online homework, and then printing kind of goes away, or at least doesn't print as much. But the ebook reader is great. I'm sure you've seen it a little bit. Please go home and do some research on the MacBook Air and the ebook reader. But the way you can highlight it, and you can plug in your headphones and have it read to you in 96 different languages. I mean, ebook reader is a great thing. It's part of this MacBook, built in. iTunes U is what our teachers are going to use to start implementing into their lessons. It's a program. Feel free to look that up as well. iTunes is a great tool for our teachers. It comes standard on our MacBooks. And the best thing for students is the iLife is already built in. So you already have iMovie, iPhoto, GarageBand, the FaceTime, all that good Mac stuff. It's not an extra. It's already built into the operating. So this thing is fully loaded, fully stocked with all kinds of great stuff from day one. Microsoft, all right, PC. Obviously, that's Mac's competition. The best thing Microsoft has going for them, in my opinion, is the Microsoft Office Suite. When kids go to college and when they go into business someday, they're not using Pages, they're not using Open Office, they're using Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint. We brought them along with us. We have the full Microsoft Office Suite as part of these machines. We added them on there. We thought that was important. We want these kids leaving school with the tools that they're going to be using. So Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, they're already built in there as well. So we'll talk a little bit about our rollout, what we've done so far, and where we are tonight, where we're going. Over this summer, our Vanguard teachers and all of our administrators got a little head start on our MacBook Airs. This fall, we gave it to all staff the first week in September, and our elementary student classroom in grades 3 through 5. They all have their own machine. Every student grades 3 through 5, it's a cart. They don't take it home, but their computer resides in that cart. At the beginning of the day, they take it out, and at the end of the day, they put it back, but it's theirs. And now here we are in the winter of this year, and we're rolling out to middle school students. Every student in grades 6 through 8 will be getting a computer for Mass on January 11th, and if you're from Soehl, it'll be January 18th. And lastly will be the high school. Will roll out in the fall of next year in September, and mid-month we'll be able to say that every single student in the Linden Public Schools in grades 3 through 12 have their own fully stocked MacBook Air. I just love saying that. So here's your save the date. I said it once, but here it is. For Soehl Middle School, it's going to be January 18th. We're going to talk a little bit about some forms that we're going to fill out. We're going to talk a little bit about how you're going to get notified of what time you can get it and how that's going to come out. But save that date for Soehl Middle School, January 18th. That's a big one. That's when you circle around the calendar. I would like to introduce Mrs. Cleary now, who's going to review some forms for us.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkins. Yes, I can take it right there. So how many students are here who are really excited about this? You? Yes. I don't blame you. It is very exciting. Okay, now along with all the fun stuff that Mr. Walters just talked about, of course there's the logistics of it and the responsibility that comes with it and some of the paperwork. So what I want to review very quickly is some of the stuff that's in your packets. Hopefully we'll answer any questions, but there's contact links in there to contact myself or Mr. Walters if we don't clarify anything for you this evening. First thing you're going to come across is the Internet Safety and Technology. That's our acceptable use policy. This you've seen over and over again. This you sign every single year, and it's for your child to be able to use their computers and the internet in the school. So this is something that you're familiar with. The only change, we had to just do an update to it. Now there is a law out there, it's called the Big Brother Law, and basically that states is that if we give students any device that has a recording device on it, we have to let you know that there's a recording device, but also let you know the fact that we will not activate that recording device unless it is reported lost or stolen to us. So that is located, I think it's on page 4 of this document, but that's the only change that has come to that since you saw this in September when you were signing off for your students to have access to use their computers in school. And if you have not signed off on this, I know the teachers are usually very diligent. You might get notices and other copies home. Please sign this because they need to do a project in the media center or something. You will need to sign it if they're taking the computer, this acceptable use policy. The next one is called the Student Use Guidelines and Procedures. As I mentioned before, along with this comes the responsibility of taking care of the computer and using it along with the guidelines that we set in the district. One of the things that I think will be a big relief for all of you parents, when your child takes his computer home, it is still on our network and our filter. So they cannot do anything at home that they can't do in school. It's the same. Okay, so whether they're home, whether they're at Dunkin' Donuts, whether they're at the library, whether they're at grandma's house, it authenticates back to our network and it is the same filter. There's no Facebook, there's no YouTube. If they try to go on anything inappropriate, it gets blocked and it's flagged by our network. Our techs pick it up and they'll be calling the principal and saying, so-and-so was on this last night, maybe you want to call in and talk to them, maybe let the parent know that they were trying to access this. So just as it is now in school, that follows them home. So we think that that took a big, is a big load off for all of you knowing that they can't access that.
Yeah, I just want to check that, as a parent, that's like exactly what I want to hear right now. That's exactly, she's exactly right. I don't want to get too technical here, but what happens is no matter what network they try to get on, they always have to authenticate back to our own network. And the only way they can do that is to sign on through our filter. I invite you to look it up. It's called Lightspeed. Is the filter we use. It's the same one we use in school. The appliance is called a Rocket. It is, you know, it's the same exact thing we use in school. Social networking is blocked. YouTube is blocked. All the things that should be blocked are blocked. And there is no way that they can get around it. They have to authenticate back to our network in order to even get on the internet. So you're a really good answer.
Okay, and basically what the student guidelines is, there's minor offenses and there's major offenses. We broke them down. And there's simple things there. It could be, one of the things now, just like you come to school with your textbook and your notebook and your pen and pencil, you'll have to come with your computer charged. Okay, so there's just guidelines that students have. Minor offenses, the schools will be setting up and adding that to the code of conduct, what the infractions will be. Minor offenses, maybe warnings, if it keeps reoccurring, it may be a detention, you know, depending on what it is based on the code of conduct. Major offenses, when they're trying to change logins, get around our system or anything like that, or do something abusive to the machine, that could result in in-school suspensions, out-of-school suspensions, just as it does now if they're doing something that they're not supposed to be doing on a computer. So what I would like for all of you to do is when you go home with all this paperwork, please take the time to sit down with your child, read through everything with them, and make sure that they clearly understand what their responsibility is, and you make sure you go over that with them. So these are forms that you'll bring back on the day of the distribution, all signed and ready, filled out. Okay? The next one we'll go to is the Student Acceptable Use Agreement. This is a very important one. This is where we're going, you have a lot of check boxes to fill out, and then at the bottom of it, that's where we put all the machine information on when we hand it to you that day. Once again, the top paragraph there just restates that Big Brother Act about the recording device, that we will not turn it on unless it's reported lost or stolen. You're understanding that it's for school use only, and you have to follow all the school guidelines. Okay, that's part of it. That is the primary computer in school, that's what they're working off of. If there's any damage to it, it's very important that they know they have to return it to us for those damages, for any repairs, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, about damages and insurance. Also that as a student, we're giving you a lot of responsibility here, but we feel that you are up to the task, and we know that you are going to work well with it and do it. So you have to sign off that you are being responsible for this. And one other thing that we took off your plate, and this is a big one, we are covering any computer that is lost or stolen. Every computer will be outfitted with a LoJack. We have signed on with a company called CompuTrace, and if a computer is lost or stolen in school, the child reports it, we handle it from our end, the administration handles it. If it happens at home, in the evening, on the weekends, if there's a winter vacation or something like that, all we're asking you to do to be covered by this is you have to file a police report within 24 hours and notify us. Okay, it's right on the form. You notify Mr. Walters via email to let us know. If that's the case, you are covered. Okay, there's nothing for you to worry about as long as you follow that protocol. If for any reason, though, months go by, there's no computer and nobody reports anything to us, and your child comes in, oh, my computer's been missing for a couple months, I don't know where it is, and it's not been reported, well, then you're responsible for that loss. But as long as you follow the procedures, knowing that it's lost or stolen, you are covered. And there is a form on CompuTrace in the packet, a little bit of a background on it, but Mr. Walters.
Yeah, that's one I invite you to, take a look and look up this absolute CompuTrace company. There's a little flyer in there, a little fact sheet, but no, we didn't spare an expense here. This is the top of the line tracking and recovery device. We work directly with the police department on this. This is one, I definitely lost some night's sleep thinking about lost and stolen computers. So this is one that I was very happy to take off of your plate, and we went with the best of the best. There's a number of things that we can do with the computer. We can lock it down right away and prevent anyone from doing anything to the computer. We can make it beep, we can make it sing, we can make it whistle, we can make a little text come up on it, which I have a few ideas of what I want to put on that. And we will be recovering the device. This company's been in business a long time. LoJack is a very reputable company. I mean, everyone recognizes that from the automobile industry. They work in 96 different countries. They most recently recovered 5 Elizabeth public school computers from the country of Chile. Chile, I was corrected last night, Chile. So they're all over the world. We will be getting these machines back. This is not something that I'm glad that we made this decision to not only take this off your plate, but spare no expense and go with the best of the best. You're covered.
Okay. Now that covers lost or stolen, but there also is that accidental damage that can occur, and that's the next one to look at. We are offering an insurance option. We have signed up with a company called Soehl. And if you look at that, they do have on that page some typical MacBook repairs, and the most common things: spill a drink on the keyboard, you drop it, you crack the screen, the casing on it cracks, the tracking pad breaks, anything like that. And you can see some of those costs are basically anywhere from $200 to $600 plus. With Soehl Insurance, they are offering a 1-year coverage for $74.52, which is $1.43 a week. That's a cup of coffee there. And it will cover anything and everything. If you choose to take that insurance policy and something happens, there's nothing for you to do. There's a $0 deductible. Your child brings the computer to us, reports to the tech department with it. We file the claim, we package it up, we send it out. They say average fixes are anywhere from 3 to 5 days. It is back in our hands and is replaced, and you do nothing. And that's for that, for the Soehl option. And one of the things to think about, you're going to text me, yes, okay.
Thank you. Parents, I want to just make sure you know that there was 2 main things we knew parents would be concerned about, and one was lost and theft, which we've got you covered. And 2 was, I'm a parent of 4 children, and I know how clumsy my kids are, and we're giving them a $1,000 device, and I'm sure some of them are worried that on the first day they have it, they're going to break it. So we debated on how we were going to handle this, and I hated to come here tonight and say to parents, we're asking you to buy insurance, but I want to put it in perspective. Your child's history textbook or their language arts book is worth more than $75 if they lose it. So while I know for some people $75 is not a problem, I know for others it is. So we're strongly encouraging it, if you can, to make that commitment for $75 that covers you for the year, and you really don't have to worry about anything. So I just want you to know that was important to us that we gave you that option, and we hope you take advantage of it.
The other thing I just wanted to mention at this time was that because these machines are leased and through educational leasing, you can go to any Apple store in the country, with Menlo Park is ours, right? Any Apple store, and it's basically a ticket to have them check it out, to troubleshoot some things, to fix something that might not be working right. They should train you if you ask for different training, if you have questions about specific apps or some Mac basics. You can walk in any Apple store, and I've seen it done. They scan it, right away it comes up as an educational lease, and that gives you a ticket to basically ask them anything you want, and they can help you. So that's another feature of this lease.
And the option B, if you chose not to take that accidental insurance, if anything happened to the computer, same thing would apply. You would bring it to our techs, they would send it out for the fix, but then because there's no insurance, you would receive the bill for the repair on that. But we would still take care of all the repairs on it, so that's being done through us. With the Safeware insurance, what's going to happen? It's a 1-year contract for it. It would take effect the day you receive the computer. So if you receive the computers on January 18th, it would run from January 18th, 2014 to January 28th, 2015. You'll get a notification if you want to renew for the next year, because remember, your students will keep it with them. Your cost will be lower the second year because it has depreciated in value. Remember, these are brand new coming out of the box, so that's why that cost is $74. The year after, the cost will be lower, and if they have it for the third year, the cost is even lower then. Okay, so that's one thing. We are going to... Yes, your student will also be keeping it over the summer. Okay, we are not taking, I mean, how can you take it away from them when they've had it all year and all their stuff is on it? And plus they have summer reading and summer projects and things to do. So we are actually one of the only school districts, I think in New Jersey, who are giving our students that option. You know, we're going to continue to let them be responsible enough, and they keep it, and it carries right through with them in the summer. Okay, we'll do, yeah, the whole questions. What's going to happen is they're going to open a portal, the Safeware company. Sometime before the holiday, we're going to send a letter out, and it will have all the information on the website to go onto. You can do it by credit card, debit card, however you want, over the website, and purchase the insurance. If you purchase it prior to that date, let's say you purchase it on January 1st, that's fine. It's not going to take effect until the 18th. It doesn't mean that you're paying from the 1st to the 1st. Okay, they know that it will be coming at that time, and they know when you're getting the computers. Okay, so if you have any other questions about that, as I said, a letter will be coming out with more information, how to sign up, and that letter will also include a distribution schedule of when you need to report what times to pick up the computers. Okay, so that's the insurance option. The next page in there, it's an opt-out, which we hope that no one chooses for this one, but if you choose to, there is an opt-out agreement for the laptops. If you do not want your child to have the laptop, everyone will do their best to make the accommodations for them in school with print materials and text materials, but the important thing is to remember that a lot of this will be on the computer and going online with it. So it's very important that we will make those accommodations. There'll be a computer for them to use during the day, but it's not anything that they can take home with them to continue with that. So if that's an option, we can talk more about that if we choose that option also. And then I think the last papers were just there's contacts and links, myself and Mr. Walters, some places to go to on the Apple site just so you can learn more about the machines and about the things that they do. CompuTrace is in there, some things from Comcast with discounted rates for internet service in case you don't have internet service if you would like to purchase it. It's not necessary for you to have internet at home for this. Okay, please know that. I mean, the students, there's the libraries, they do a lot of it in school, and not everything that they have to do at home is going to be internet-based. A lot of it will just be, you know, if a textbook is on there, they don't have to go online for that. So everything is imaged onto those computers.
Yeah, just next steps. I just want everyone to be crystal clear as far as what happens next. Mrs. Cleary said that over the next few weeks you'll get a packet home. It's going to explain not only exactly how to get on the portal for the insurance, but it'll tell you what time to show up on that Saturday. And then Saturday you'll have a specific time to come in. Between now and then, you'll definitely want to sit down with your child and review the documents. You want to have all those signed ahead of time. Students, you're going to make sure you know your password that day. You're going to make sure you bring your ID that day. There should be no confusion logging in. And as long as you can log in at school, you should be able to log in that day. But you want to make sure you know your password just to keep things moving, move things along. If you come to that day on Saturday with all your documents and your student knows your password, you should be in there in 15 minutes for a brand new Mac. If you don't, then back to the end of the line.
Okay, so you fulfilled the first part of the requirement by coming to this meeting tonight. We have, if you did not sign in, I just know some of you were coming in and wanted to get into the presentation. Please make sure you sign in at one of the tables before you leave, because we are keeping track of all of that so we know who has shown up. You will need to be present with your child on that Saturday day for pickup, and that's about it. If you have no questions, thank you very much, and please have a safe evening getting home. If you have questions, we're going to ask that those of you with questions come down to the first 2 rows, and we will ask you anything from there. Thank you.